Welcome back to SamTimeTomorrow. I'm up early on a chilly Pennsylvania morning. It's supposed to get into the 60s right now. It's at 30 degrees. I had to bring in all the plants last night that are not frost hardy. So I'm going to be trucking those back to the greenhouse this morning. And what I want to get done before anyone wakes up in the house is I want to get some carrots planted, some peas planted, and I did start some onions from seeds, but unfortunately they died. I'm not sure what happened, but you win some, you lose some. So I have these onion sets that I'm going to be using. I might buy some onion starts if I find some locally, but right now this is the most cost effective. I got all these for 36 cents at a local farmer's market. So the varieties that I'm planting in carrot are the New Carota. This is a very good carrot. I've been growing it for a few years now. It's one of those ones that can power through thick, heavy clay dirt. I think it has really good flavor even whenever you're growing it in summer. A lot of carrots will get woody and get spicy. This one stays nice and sweet, so this is a favorite of mine. And the peas that I am planting are the Tom Thumb Dwarf. I'm going to be planting these over in the corner that I have left over from the brassicas. So I just watered the soil all down, and what I'm going to do is put my seeds down with the spacing as good as I can, and then I'm going to cover them with cardboard. So the reason I want to do that is you don't want your seedlings drying out. You don't want your seeds drying out, and carrot seeds need to stay moist for them to germinate. So I will come out here every day making sure the soil is still moist under that cardboard and making sure nothing has sprouted, so that way once they do sprout I can remove the cardboard and they can start getting the sunlight they need. The reason I put the cardboard over the seedlings is because I don't want them washing away if we get a storm or if it gets very windy. And carrot seeds you don't really need to bury either. They're so tiny, so that's why I already wet the soil as to not wash them away with this hose. The other plants I have for this garden bed is I have this trellis, and I think I'm going to keep it here, is I have some marvel peas started, and that I plan on putting peas along the back, and they can trellis up. I'm also going to wet the cardboard to make sure the cardboard's not going to draw the moisture from the soil as well. Beside the carrots, I'm just going to get some of these onions planted. They're not all going to go here, but I just want to start getting some in the ground so they can start growing roots. Now, when you start with sets, these are not going to get you big onions. But that's okay, I just want to get some onions in the ground because what I try to do each summer is get enough produce that I could possibly make a whole batch of salsa with all my own backyard produce. And the one thing I struggle with is onions. Everyone says they're really easy to grow. I just haven't had much luck with them. So what is the goal of my garden this year? I want to plant as much food as my family will eat, and I want to preserve the rest of it. My garden is not going to sustain us for the year. It's something that gives us an opportunity to be in the backyard. It gets us close to nature, helps us be more sustainable. It also is one of those teachable moments that this property, I don't think is our forever home, and I would love to own a property that had at least an acre on it so I could raise my own chickens, plant more of my own food, and possibly get to that point where most of our produce is sustained by what we grow. So this is what I call my classroom, and I get that term from a YouTuber, a wonderful person. I think I can just watch all her videos, and she's just a sweet person from Roots and Refuge Farm, and she's very encouraging. And that's why I think it's important, no matter what size property you have, if you're interested in gardening, do something. Try it out. because you don't know until you try. And there's lots to learn even in a small space. I've said before, I started out with a 3x5 garden, and it was something that I really enjoyed, so my garden kept growing. It's something that became more than just a little backyard produce. So when you're getting onion sets, you want to try to get the smaller ones because that means they haven't used a lot of energy trying to get really big. So I try to pick out small ones. So there's one more crop I want to get planted in the garden, and that's potatoes. I have some sweet potatoes that I actually got from a sweet potato I bought in a store that I put them in some water and I got some sprouts off of it, so I'm really excited about that. I've never grown sweet potatoes, and I haven't got my potato starts yet, but I'm hoping to get those potato starts this weekend and get those in the ground. It's one last thing I want to get in the ground before, there's no sign of frost, because the tubers will be fine underground because the soil will keep them warm and they won't start sprouting until it's actually nice and warm for them, because they get planted so deep, so there'll be time. And this year I'm really excited that I can have more designated beds. So in the past, like the two biggest beds I had last year were two 5x5s, so they had carrots in them, they had potatoes in them, they had herbs and flowers, they had my tomato plants. So this year with more garden beds, I'm able to have it more organized, which is something that excites me. Sometimes in the garden I'm really willy-nilly, like, oh yeah, there's room for a seed there, and then it gets a bit overwhelming once everything's big and then you forget how big everything can get. So this year I'm excited that I'm just going to have a bed dedicated to potatoes. This year I have a bed so far dedicated to carrots and onions, and I plan on putting some peas along the back because I also want to optimize my space. I want to get as much food as I can out of that space. But it's also nice that there is more. That's just what's in that bed. So my next chore is to get all of the seedling starts that are not frost hardy out in the greenhouse. And I want to say thank you for joining me in the garden today. Shorter video, just getting some things done, enjoying the morning weather. Thank you for joining me in the garden this morning. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really excited that spring is here, and that means summer is right around the corner. It's been getting really warm. It was 80 degrees today, and that means soon these peppers and tomato plants can be going out. So that's really exciting. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content from me in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks. Friends, look at all these plants. These were all started from seed. They're growing beautifully. Started some more because I want to try to get as many plants in my garden that I started from seed. So I'm moving into flowers. I want to get some lettuce started. But aren't they so beautiful? But I still have more to separate. I need to find more pots because I really like these smaller ones to let them grow big and then move them up one more time, just because I'm bringing these in and out of the house. And right now that's 5 trays that I'm bringing in. And that's a lot every day, but that is some love for your plants. Since the last time we were in the greenhouse, I got the last shelf put in. So now I have a nice workstation. I can put extra seedlings there, and all my friends can be sunning up there.